Hi, besties. So, today I'm going to teach you how to count using Excel.
I always
Yeah,
be your captain.
So, when can we use count? The count function in Excel. So, I have a friend called Ade, and one day I found myself with a group of people. We're about 10 in number. And then Ade comes to meet me, and then he's like, "Oh, Debbie, I made some cool amounts this week, and I would like to share the money equally with the group." And then I'm very excited because I mean, it's money. Who would not be excited? So Ade says he wants to share the money equally with the number of people in the group. And don't forget, we are 10 people in the group. So then I go back to the group, and then I need to be sure that someone hasn't dropped, and we're not more than 10 right now. So then I have to go to start counting everyone. So, like, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10. We've counted the number of people in a group, and that is exactly what Excel does. So, when we use the count formula in Excel, we can use this to count the number of items, the number of orders, the number of people, the number of things, the number of categories, number. So, yes, and in Excel, we have two types of counts. Now, the first one is counts, and count works with numeric values. Now, what exactly is a numeric value? A numeric value is could be continuous or could be discrete. So if it's continuous, it could be like maybe the weight of someone, of a person, for example, 67.5, that's a continuous number. And then if it's discrete, for example, the number of people in a place. When we mention categories, we should think groups. For example, gender, male, female, colors, red, blue, green, grades of people in a test, like grade A plus, A, B, C, you know, these are all categorical values. We even think about postal code because that's that's a group for addresses. Okay, so one tip that I'm going to give you while working with formulas or functions is the syntax. Now, the syntax is a guide. It's there to guide you, to help you, to tell you what to do, what is the next step you have to take, what the formula needs to actually work for you. So we're going to do for count, and we're going to use count formula here to count, well, the number of items in here, the ID numbers and the name of attendees, and let's see what happens. So just beside it here, I'm going to use the equal to sign. I'm going to use the equal sign. So I'm going to say equal to count. Remember that when you're working with a formula in Excel, the first thing you need to do is to use the equal to, because the equal to helps you activate that function. So I'm going to select count from the tab key on my keyboard, and you can see that on the syntax, we have count bracket open value one, value two. Now that means that, let's say I can do this, I can select number one on the ID and put a comma, and select number two on the ID and put a comma. and select number 3. And if I close the bracket, I should find a number. Now, another thing we can do, so we can do this because count wants us to put a value, then put a comma, put another value, and put a comma. Now, Excel also likes something called ranges. Excel sometimes wants us to work with a range. So a range could be like an array of a group of numbers. For example, the ID here is a range or an array group of numbers. And then we can use that and infuse it the Excel function, into the count function. So let's see. So count again. Now this time I'm gonna pick the array. So I'm gonna select number 1 from up here, and then I'm going to drag it down to 5. You can see it's giving me the reference to the cell. Right now I'm on column N and row number 14 to column N, row number 18. And then I'll just close my bracket. I'll press enter. So yeah, it's giving me 5. So I have 5 participants here by counting just the ID numbers. So let's do the same thing for the number of attendees, and then using the count formula, let's see what happens. So I'm going to do it again. I'll say equal to count, then I'm coming, select the first name, that's Joker, on name of attendees, that's column O, row number 14. I'll just drag it down to Debbie, and just do that again. Drag it down to Debbie, close the bracket, and press enter. And oh my god, it's giving me 0. It's giving me 0. Now, the reason why it's giving me 0 and not 5 is because the count formula cannot count categories. It cannot count categories. It can count text using the count formula. So let's see what the count A would do for us. Count A, remember? Yeah, so let's see what the count A would do for us, because we can use the count A here in place of the group. Sorry, in place of the count when we want to count a text. So let's try it again. So let's use count A for the ID number, and then we're going to use count A for number of name of attendees, and then see what's up. So again, I'm going to go with my range. I would select it, close the bracket, and press enter, and it works. It works. And then again, I would do the count A, and then I'm going to select again from Joker down to Debbie, and then I'll close my bracket. I'll put enter, and it worked. So it's giving me 5. So let's see the difference. First, the count function does not work with text categories. Not going to work. Um, you use the count function with numbers, numeric values. The count A formula, it works with both numeric numbers and text and categories. And that's why we have 5 here. Let's see to count the number of products here. And I'm just going to use the count A formula. I'm going to use the count A formula. So I'm just going to say equal to count A. And remember, I'm using the count A formula because my product ID is written this way. It's actually a category right now. It's a text, it's all text. So I'm going to select the first value, and then I'll use Control Shift and the down arrow key to go to the end of my data. And then I'm going to press enter. And I'll come up, and then I'll see it's giving me 9,994 rows. So number of products, if I just count the rows, so to get the shape of the data, we see 9,994 rows. And then for the columns, again, we take it, and then I say, using the count A, I'm going to say equal to count A, and then I'll move down here. going to select the product ID, that's a name product ID on the header, and I'll use Control Shift and right arrow key to go to the end of profits. That's the end of the column, which is profit. And then I'll close the bracket and press enter, and this is 8. Now, another way you can see what the shape of your data, well, not really shape, but like the length of your data is about when you're working with a large data set is, so let's try again. I'm going to highlight. So I'll select the first product ID, Control Shift the down arrow key, and then I'm going to come to the status bar here at this place where you have the count, and immediately it gives you 9,994. So this is one way to do a count or to know the length of your data while working with data. And then would do the same thing for the headers. So I'm just going to go back up, and then I'll select profit. This time I'll use the left arrow key. And then at the bottom on the status bar here, you're going to see the count as 8. So see you another time, besties. Have fun. Let me know how you use the count function, and if there's something else that you need me to show how to use certain function in Excel, you can just put it in the comments below. Bye.